What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got the co-host, Amanda. Amanda, another great week of football.
Yeah, I'm excited about some of these games. I feel like we're really starting to get a feel for some of who these teams are collectively. These rookies are starting to show out. We're starting to see second stringers step in and fill in injury holes. So it's been pretty exciting the last couple weeks. This week should be no different.
Yeah, Hugh, great to have you back on. And you had a pretty good week last week, so excited to make some picks again for this week.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be fun. You guys are a blast.
Yeah, we love it every time. And I got 6 games to catch up with Amanda. We'll see if we can do that in week 7 here.
No
Uh,
way.
The
let's talk.
queen is queening. That's for sure.
Been
She
a long
owns the
time
regular.
since somebody's beat me in picks.
She owns the regular season. I own the playoffs, and I own Thursday nights. I got Thursday night right this week, Amanda.
Well, we
Um,
all agreed on that one.
yeah, the Saints were depleted. Derek Carr out, Chris Olave out, Rashid Shaheed out for the season. That's a huge loss for the Saints.
Yeah.
Sean Payton going up against his old team. Hugh, the Broncos just blow the Saints out 33-10. Sean Payton gets revenge in New Orleans.
No, he did. And he did it in a way that only Sean could do. Let me put it like that. Come back to New Orleans and beat a team that's a little depleted, but at the same time, they have NFL players too. And the Broncos stepped up and made some plays. I just wonder obviously there's some injuries, but what has really happened with everything? Everything was trending so right for the Saints, and now all of a sudden, look at them. I mean, they're
Yeah.
they're spiraling the other way.
5 straight losses
Mm-hmm.
at the 2-0 and being red hot. Amanda, Dennis Allen, Saints fans are all over Dennis Allen. 4-game losing streak, a bad loss on Drew Brees, Saints Hall of Fame night. They're honoring him and get blown out. What do you think of what's going on with the Saints and their head coaching situation? I mean, his record is not good.
Well, I think it's funny. I saw a couple posts about how Sean Payton went and did the Saints fans one more solid by coming back and getting him fired. Like just one more solid for the fan base to show he still loves them. Like, let's get rid of your shitty coach. Like, I don't know if that's actually happening, but I like the narrative. I think it's funny.
But they
Um,
haven't fired him, though. They're keeping him,
no, not yet. But I mean, we'll talk shit about coaches getting fired mid-season 2 weeks ago. But
Yeah,
I mean, who else is there? Like, I don't know if anyone within their organization would be an improvement. It just seems like there's a lot of holes on the team.
yeah.
I just don't know what else they could do with it. Like between the injuries and the quarterback situation, I don't know if anyone could go in there and win right now as a coach with the personnel they
Yeah.
currently have.
Yeah, with the injuries and Rashid Shaheed is a major loss the rest of the season for him.
No, that's a huge loss. And I don't know how they make that up,
Yeah.
because he was so valuable to the team. So, I mean, it'd take 2, 3 people to replace him. So it's going to be interesting just to see how they come back from that.
On top of that, Amanda Paulson Adebo now out for the season, one of their top
Yeah.
corners. So they're just getting killed with injuries.
That was a femur break?
Yeah.
How the hell? Like, do you know how hard it has to be for a femur? Like, that's insane to
Oof.
me. It didn't look like that kind of situation. I wouldn't
It,
have guessed that.
I could tell it was a major injury by his reaction to it, but it didn't
Yeah.
look that nasty.
No,
Wow.
it wasn't
So,
one of those hits like Aiden Hutchinson, the close-ups on that injury, like that shit made me gag. But this one
yeah.
I was like, oh, he's hurt, but it didn't look like a leg snap like that. So I was surprised.
And Hugh Bo Nix starting to get into his groove. He played really well last night. No turnovers, career high with 75 rushing yards. Just playing good, clean football right now.
No, you just said it. I mean, when the young quarterbacks play clean, and they're starting for a reason, their teams probably have a pretty good chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's starting to catch on to Sean's system. I'm sure Sean's starting to really figure out what it is. He does extremely well. They're kind of catering the offense to that. But the thing they're doing really good is they're playing really good defense too.
Yeah.
So I just think they're kind of riding on their football team. They're playing good defense, good special teams, playing complementary offense, and boy, great things are happening.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
gonna say shout out to that defense. I mean, holding the Saints, and granted the Saints, we've already talked about their issues, but Spencer Rattler didn't look bad last week. I mean, they put up 27 points on the Bucks, so I
Mhm.
expected, a closer game than this one, but that Denver defense was fantastic.
Vance Joseph. Let's
Yeah.
go, Vance.
Yeah, and did that without Patrick Surtain, their best corner too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, so impressive win. The Broncos get to 4-3. I don't think many people had them, being above 500 at this point. And they host the Panthers in week 8. So a good opportunity to get to 5-3. That's a nice start for the Broncos. And kudos to Sean Payton. Um, let's go. Let's start making our picks here. Amanda, do you have anything else to say about that game? I mean,
No, you
blowout.
just said you didn't think that a lot of Broncos fans thought they'd be there. I mean, my husband's from Colorado, and nobody was expecting anything this season.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's a rebuild year, but now they're like, wait a second, like it's one of those years where like I don't want to get excited, but
Well, credit to Bo Nix. I wasn't super high on him coming out of the draft. I had him below Penix, below JJ McCarthy, but he's come in and, you know, uh, gotten real familiar with the offense. He's playing really good football early in the season as a rookie. So kudos to him. Kudos to Sean Payton and that staff for getting him ready. Let's start with our picks. We got another London game Sunday morning, the 1-5 Patriots against the 1-5 Jags. Hugh, this is a desperation game for Jacksonville, and I think in order for Doug Peterson to save his job, this is one of those games that he has to win against a Patriots team that is beatable, so a big, important game for Jacksonville.
No, it is. And I think Doug's a veteran enough coach. He understands the situation he's in. I think his football team does too. So I think they're going to win the game. I really do. I just think they're better equipped to win the game more so than the Patriots. But the Patriots in the week 2 of Drake May starting. So that's going to, we're going to find out, how good this young man can be, but at the same time, I really think that the Jags will win this game.
Yeah, Amanda, Jacksonville didn't look very good against the Bears last week, but Brian Thomas Jr., just 3 catches for 27 yards. Let's see if they can get him more involved. Evan Ingram had 10 catches. See if they can get the running game back going. I expect the Jags to find a way to get this win. It might be a little sloppy, though.
yeah, that's what I'm concerned about. That defense disappointed me last week against Chicago. I mean, they didn't blitz Caleb Williams hardly at all. 25% blitz on his 32 dropbacks. And I mean, he threw for 226 yards. And granted, we like Caleb Williams. We know he's got an arm, but he just made him look bad. And I like Drake May. I know he's got a knee injury. He's kind of nursing here.
Yeah.
But last week he played really well for a first time starter, 243 yards. And then the Jags pass defense ranks dead last in the NFL. So I'm gonna roll with a New England or an England upset here, and I'm gonna pick the Pats. Just otherwise, we're only gonna do games different based on the picks that you wrote in the notes. But I don't know. I don't trust that defense for the Jaguars right now.
I see what you're doing. You get a nice, comfortable 6-game lead. You can start being a little risky with your picks.
Oh, wow.
I'll take
That's
it.
not
Like,
like you. That's
Six
not like
games
you,
is a
Amanda,
lot.
but I see where you're headed.
We'll
I mean,
see.
it could be actually a pretty close game. Like, it could be.
It could be
Jacksonville,
a blowout too, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jacksonville is so desperate. They have to show up. If they don't show up to this one, then just, pack the bags on the season pretty much. So,
Well, and you said it's a desperation game for them. Aren't the Pats on a 5-game losing streak?
yeah, but they expect to be on a bad team this year. I think they're going to be happy with 3 wins if they can find a way to get them.
Well, but that's the thing, though. They've got all the excitement. The Jags are pissed off that they're 1-5. Like
Well,
the
let me
Jags are
say to
upset about
both
it.
of you guys, though, coaches don't. Everybody said they'll be happy if they just win 3. That's not true, Alex.
Yeah.
Coaches are not built to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hurts. You work even harder. Your team works harder when you're losing. That mental anguish of just trying to find a win, find a way to win. People don't understand that. That is so hard for those men.
Yeah. Yeah, and no, I mean, I was thinking like expectations wise,
But it's
Jacksonville
expectations of who, right? I mean,
fans and ownership, the coaches, I agree. Coaches want to win every time they go out there.
yes.
Yeah,
And players do too. A lot of these players
yeah,
come from great programs, right? And so
yeah,
you're not used to losing. You
yeah,
take too many L's on your head, but it's difficult.
yeah.
Well, I just think
Yeah.
the positive momentum is with the Pats. Like their first game start for the rookie QB, he played great last week. Like
Hmm.
they're doing something new and exciting. They're overseas. It's a second game. They clicked well last week. Granted, they didn't win, but like that's a great first game for a rookie. So I just feel like they've had more positive change over the past couple weeks. Like the Jags, yeah, they've scraped out a win, but there's no like fresh life breathed into that team. Meanwhile, New England has that breath of fresh air.
Well, I guess I'm seeing it from my point of view, who's been trying to convince the Jags to turn it around at some point this year. Then they better turn it
Alex is
around.
Jacksonville's number one cheerleader this season.
I mean, they're too talented to be 1-6. Get to 2-5. Maybe you can start to turn it around. We'll see.
Yeah,
Let's go.
and Tank Bigsby should have a good week. The Patriots defense is awful against running backs, and with
Yeah.
Travis Etienne out, he's should have a good week. So maybe we'll get you a Bigsby jersey since you like Jacksonville so much.
I mean, give me a Brian Thomas Jr. jersey if they throw the ball to him. You got to get him more involved than they did last week. That's what,
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where he was in that game. I don't know
yeah,
what happened there. Maybe they just had an off week in practice, so they weren't trusting him during the game or something. But it was weird.
they were throwing to Gabe Davis and Evan Ingram instead. Let's go Seahawks at Falcons. Seattle started the season 3-0. Now they're on a 3-game losing streak. The Falcons are on a 3-game winning streak. And the Seahawks run defense has really been struggling lately against Detroit and against who they struggle with last week. But who'd Seattle play last week, Amanda? Do you have that?
Didn't they play
They got ran all over. I know that.
the 49ers?
The 49ers, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say,
I
Mhm.
Brendo and that. Yeah. So
yeah.
um
We just
they
forgot about it because it was last Thursday, so it's been over a week.
yeah, now they got Algier and Bijan Robinson. So they're that's a tough running game to go against. In Atlanta, positive momentum Falcons. I'm going with Falcons at home. Hugh, do you agree with that? Seattle, there's something going on in Seattle.
Yeah, no, I don't know that something's really going on. I just think, again, coming to Atlanta, Atlanta's on a hot streak. The
Yep.
quarterback's playing good. He's throwing the ball all over the place. They got guys making plays. They're playing better on defense. I think they found their identity. You just mentioned they have good runners. I just think they're a better football team right now than Seattle. What I do think is going on, there's something on offense in
Yep.
Seattle that's going on for Walker not to touch the ball as much. Boy, Geno Smith's not playing well early in games. That's not like him. So when he leads the National Football League in almost every statistical category there is. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can right the ship. This coach, Coach McDonald's, an extremely good defensive coach. I think he'll make the proper adjustments, but I think coming to Atlanta, the Falcons will win this game.
Yeah, Amanda, Geno Smith doing his best Sam Howell impression, leading the league in passing yards, but second in interceptions.
Yeah, that cracks me up. What is he? 6-6
Yeah.
right now? Yeah. I love those stats. I love me a Brett Favre quarterback. Like just tie him up, touchdowns, interceptions, it's fine. But the Seahawks offense, they've scored 20 plus points in all 6 games so far this season. So they're doing something right, just not enough, and their defense isn't stepping up to kind of bridge that gap. One thing that I'm concerned about in this one, I'm gonna roll with the Falcons here. But DK Metcalf, I think this is a very favorable matchup with him against AJ Terrell. Because he has had issues all season. George Pickens ran all over him, Devontae Smith ran all over him, Mike Evans made him look dumb, Deontay Johnson. So I think we'll see DK Metcalf go off in this one, but Seattle needs to remember that they have a fantastic running back and use him.
Yeah, feed Kenneth Walker. The secondary could be an issue. Safety Justin Simmons is questionable, so that's something to keep an eye on. But I think all in all, this is probably going to be a great game. One possession game come down to the wire, but I just give Atlanta the edge at home, and they're just playing better football right now. So you're
Yeah,
going
and
Falcons, Amanda?
you've got Matthew Judon facing up against Stone Forsythe, who's 63rd ranked out of 66 tackles. So
Not good.
I think Gino's going to be on the ground a couple times.
Yeah, feed Kenneth Walker. Got to get back to that running game. Zach Charbonnet as well.
Mhm.
Titans at Bills. Amanda, your Bills trade for Amari Cooper, and that's a true wide receiver one coming in. You've got Khalil Shakir, you've got Keon Coleman. that veteran presence with Amari Cooper should help open up the offense.
Yeah, I'm excited about this trade for them. I think it's a good fit. I wanted Devontae Adams there because, the Bills are my second team and I love Devontae. I said that if he went to the Chiefs, I would quit football. Like I'd just be done for the season. So, I'm happy he's in New York, and Amari Cooper should be a fantastic addition. We know Stephon Diggs has been a giant gaping hole in that Buffalo offense. So I'm stoked that they've been able to fill it with an elite receiver.
Yeah, Hugh, Josh Allen, 10 touchdowns, no interceptions so far this year. A lot of people talking about those interceptions. He's cut those out so far.
Playing extremely well, and you got to give kudos to the coordinator and their offensive staff. I think they've done a great job. They've spread the ball around. It's to see them take another piece and put it in their offensive football team with Amari Cooper, as Amanda just mentioned. I think is going to really help him. But I think this is going to be the Bills' win. They're at home and they're playing well.
Yeah, they're getting healthy. James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, Ed Oliver, Terrell Bernard, all expected to play. And then you
Yeah.
got a Titans team. Will Levis leads the league in interceptions. He's also got 3 fumbles on top of that. And then wide receiver Calvin Ridley upset at 0 catches last week. So the drama seems to be with the Titans. The Bills are playing better football and getting better. So I got the Bills as well. Amanda, you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Josh Allen is the only quarterback in the league without an interception so far this season. And you compare that to how he's played historically. Through his first 6 seasons, he led the league in interceptions, and he was third in passing touchdowns. But the way he's been playing this season, I just feel like he's on a hot streak. And even if he throws a pick here or there for the rest of the season, they just seem to have worked out some of those kinks for him, which is fantastic to see as a fan.
Yeah, get to 5-2. Should be a pretty winnable game at home against Tennessee. Let's go Bengals at Browns. The battle for Ohio. Since he's won 2 of their last 3, the Browns now traded away Amari Cooper. So you kind of wonder about that receiving core with Deshaun Watson already struggling. But some exciting news here. Nick Chubb set to play in his first game since week 2 of last season. Amanda, I know you're excited about Nick Chubb getting back on the field after that devastating knee injury.
Yeah, that was horrific. So I'm really happy that they get him back. It just seems like a lot of dysfunction in this team, and we've talked about this for the past couple weeks. And then letting Amari Cooper go, I just feel like that's not a decision you make if you're planning on turning your season around.
Yeah. Yeah. Hugh, Bengals at home, right?
Battle of Ohio, the Bengals win. Who they, baby?
Actually, this is in Cleveland, but still, go Bengals.
That's like being in Cincinnati.
It's the
It's
same
all
thing.
good.
Yeah. Why would anyone want to win Ohio? I don't know if that's a prize.
No, I think the Bengals is finna start hitting their stride. I've seen this before out of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, it took some getting some things right to get it turned, but they're finna go on a run here.
They always start so slow, and then they get it going and get right back into the division race. So, yeah.
Do we think Myles Garrett is going to get a sack in this game?
I do.
He's gone 0 for 2 in the last 2 games. No sacks the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
he's been a little injured. I can tell just by his gait. His feet has been some issues, and he's fighting through it. But just me knowing Miles a little bit, he's going to show up. He's going to play,
Well,
and he'll play well.
I wasn't saying he was doing something wrong. I feel like this is going to be a snapback week for him. He's an amazing player. I'm not at all talking shit.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
And the quarterbacks he's been up against the last 2 weeks, like if you've got an injury and you're running after Jaden Daniels, like that, he's quick on his feet. And then Jalen Hurts, like nobody can sack that guy. So that wasn't a jab at him.
Right.
I want to see his numbers come back. He's only behind JJ Watt in sack numbers for his career. So I'm pulling.
This game could get out of hand. I could see the Bengals potentially running away with this one a little bit, or winning by double digits at least.
My biggest concern is that Deshaun Watson doesn't get sacked 7 times.
Yeah.
Is that they keep him upright, and so I just think that's the most important part. How do they protect him in this game? It's
got to be tough, Hugh. I feel like Kevin Stefanski is probably getting overruled by upper management ownership with Deshaun Watson's contract. It's got to be difficult having Jameis Winston as the backup, feeling like he could potentially provide a spark to the offense. Yet they have to keep running Watson out there, and he's just really struggling right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, the coach is standing by his quarterback. And, you can look at it a couple ways. Upper management could have a hand in it, or the coach is saying, hey, look, I got to find out, because where we're going to go next year with our
Yeah,
football team. So it could be a lot of things playing into that decision.
yeah. If we keep losing, maybe it'll be Shador Sanders next year. Amanda, your Packers was a tough game. They are up to a 4-2 start, but here come the 5-1 Texans into Lambeau. Jordan Love needs to clean up. We talk about Josh Allen with the interceptions. Jordan Love with 6 interceptions through 4 games, but he's also got 12 touchdowns, doing enough to win the games. A tough one with the Texans coming into town. Do you think Green Bay can get it done?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Packers here. I like how our offense faces up against their defense. Their defense has given up the 3rd highest passer rating in games across the season so far. And they've got a couple injuries on defense, so I think that'll help us out. I do like that their coach was trying to jinx Jordan Love by saying like, yeah, he's going to be the best quarterback we've seen this season, like that. And granted, he might have meant it as a compliment, but it felt like he was just trying to jinx something. It's like, oh yeah, this is going to be a perfect game, like just zip it. So I do think that might be a little bit of a head game, because I feel like D'Amico Ryans would do that, be like, yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, you see that
But
sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, he's funny. So I'm kind of hoping he meant that as an underhanded thing. If he didn't, I'm just gonna pretend like he did. Um,
Mhm.
and I know the Packers, like, they've had some issues with the receiving core on and off. And, last week was the return of Romeo Doubs, which was fantastic. But Jaden Reed has been playing so well this season. He
Mhm.
was 79% reception rate so far this season. And with the way the Texans defense is defending the pass, 163 yards per game they've allowed. I expect both of them to have solid games again.
Nice. Hugh, how are you feeling? Texans at Packers.
I'm riding with the best team in Texas. They're called the Texans. The Houston Texans will win this game. No doubt about it.
Mighty.
Yeah, so I wrote down Packers, but Amanda, we're not disagreeing on a lot, and
Our,
I'm a
our
Bears
our
fan.
disagree games are in the bottom half, just so you know. We've got two coming.
I can't be picking the Packers. I've given the Packers enough love. I picked them a lot this year. Let's go Texans. I'm with Hugh
Oh.
Jackson here.
Okay, well,
Texans,
Hugh
the
picked the
defense.
Rams when the Packers beat them too. So just saying.
Or was that? No, that was Chad, wasn't it?
Was it Chad? Oh, who did we have
Yeah.
on that week? Yeah, you're
That
right.
was
Okay.
not
That was
me.
my bad. Sorry.
Oh, come on, Amanda, now. Give me a little
Sorry.
credit
It was
here.
the one week you haven't done picks, but I have it written under your column because normally you don't do picks with it. That was my bad. I apologize. I misspoke, y'all.
Yeah, Texans, Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, Derek Stingley. Let's go Texans defense. Let's get this win. Green Bay needs to come back down to earth a little bit.
I I
Texans
think they're down
defense.
to earth, man. We know our issues. Be mad at both of y'all.
Uh-oh, we can't hear you, Alex.
Well, I will say I'm a little concerned about Will Anderson Jr. I mean, 5.5 sacks, the most by a Houston player through 6 games since JJ Watt in 2018. So that's a little concerning.
Can you hear Alex?
I cannot hear Alex.
Me
I don't know what
neither.
happened to him. I'll just keep going without him though.
Yeah.
What's
All right,
that?
Now we
you,
got you.
you were down for like 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So we're ready to move on to the Dolphins at Colts. So the Dolphins 2-3 at the Colts. Last week we talked about how much dysfunction was in the Colts. They're bouncing back and forth between quarterbacks. They don't seem to know who to start. Anthony Richardson is starting this week versus Tyler Huntley. So again, another dysfunctional situation, backup quarterback battle. How are you feeling about this one, Alex? I know Michael Pittman is expected to play, and you're a big Pittman fan. How do you feel about this matchup?
I got to ride with the Colts. I'm hoping Anthony Richardson can play well and finish the game and stay healthy. I'm going Colts at home. I haven't seen anything out of this Dolphins offense ever since Tua went down. So I got to ride with the Colts. Hugh, are you trusting Anthony Richardson and the Colts?
It's not that I'm trusting Anthony Richardson. I'm just trusting the Colts. I think they're at
Yeah.
home, and I think they got a chance to get it done. And if he's not playing well, you insert Joe Flacco, who's played extremely well, and he goes and wins the game.
Yeah, and Miami hasn't done anything with Tyler Huntley, and they got an explosive offense, but no quarterback right now. So, Amanda, is that how you're feeling?
Well, I think that the Dolphins are starting to make adjustments. I mean, they just had a bye week to work on things, but in week 5 they rushed for a season high 193 yards. So I feel like they're starting to address some of their holes and using Tyler Huntley for what he's good at. Like if you've got a mobile quarterback who's better on the ground than he is in the air, use him for that. So I think they started sorting that out in week 5. And with the bye week, they should be rested, but I'm with both of you guys. Miami's 12 points per game. It's dead last in the NFL. So
Yeah.
I just can't pick them in good confidence here.
Yeah, that's not going to be one of the most watched games this week. So let's go Colts. But this is going to be one of the most watched games. The Lions at the Vikings. 4-1 Lions, 5-0 Vikings. Great game here. Hugh, huge loss losing Aiden Hutchinson for the season. Is that going to derail the Lions season? Do you think they can, rally?
I do. I don't think it'll derail their season. I think they're going to have to learn how to play without him. They're going
Yeah.
to find out what they need to do here before this trade deadline is done. They got to make some real decisions about their football team because I think they have a really good team that can go far in the playoffs. And
Yeah.
so how do they keep that going? But in this game in Minnesota, I'm going to take the Vikings because I think the Vikings understand if they're going to make a statement, it's got to be against the Lions this week. Everybody's calling them a really good football team. They're 5-0. They've done some great things this year. And I think this is going to be Darnold's coming out game again. He's got a chance to go prove he's one of the better players in the league. And I think he'll show it.
Yeah, Amanda, the Lions secondary is much improved, but they've already lost Marcus Davenport for the season. Now you lose Aiden Hutchinson for the season. I don't know where the pass rush is going to come from. And so until they make a trade for another pass rusher, I think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I do think they're gonna have to make some adjustments there on defense. My concern, so obviously Minnesota's been playing fantastically. They've only trailed for 3 minutes and 26 seconds this season, which is
Mhm.
ridiculous. Coming into week 7, that's the 5th fewest amount of time by any team through 5 games since 1970. Like they're doing phenomenally. But Jared Goff loves Brian Flores blitz concepts. He's the best against them. So they blitzed at the highest rate in the NFL last year. He was sacked 0 times on 54 dropbacks.
Wow.
So Goff has that handled. He loves playing against that Brian Flores defense. And Flores is still blitzing heavily this season. So I'm gonna be feisty here because I do think Minnesota's getting a little comfortable on their win streak. I'm gonna pick the Lions. And I
Good.
think it should be a close game, and I might regret this pick. The Lions could be absolutely embarrassed in Minnesota, but Goff is on such a hot streak right now, and I know how Alex feels about Goff, but his passer rating the past 2 games averages 157.5. Like the Lions are just so hot right now, and I think they might be able to branch over those injuries if the offense keeps playing like it has.
Yeah, it's a huge test for Brian Flores' defense. The Lions come in red hot on offense. Jared Goff, has been unbelievable the last 2 games. But I'm going to disregard your stats about Brian Flores and Jared Goff, and I'm going to say the Vikings defense gets after him, forces a couple turnovers, and in Sam Darnold we trust. And Aaron Jones expected to play. That's huge for the Vikings. Um, I'm not a believer in the Vikings as a Super Bowl contender, but I'm not a believer in the Lions as a Super Bowl contender either. So let's go Vikings at home, and I'll let my Lions hate continue. So let's go
That's fair.
Vikings. I want to hear that Viking horn going off like crazy on Sunday.
Well, I mean, Justin Jefferson has the most receiving yards versus the Lions of any player in their first 8 games versus another team in NFL history. So, I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna regret that pick. I'm getting a feeling, so we're gonna roll with it.
That Lions secondary is so much better, though, with Carlton Davis, Terrian Arnold, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. So they're going to need to step up, though, without those pass rushers. So, um,
Justin Jefferson for the touchdown. Here we
Oh
go.
yeah.
yeah.
He
Jared
rips through the
Goff with the
Lions,
first
so it'll be
pick.
interesting.
How many turnovers for Goff this week, Amanda? 3 or
2.
4?
Just 2.
Okay, I'll take it.
That's
Uh,
14 points.
Eagles at Giants, the Saquon Barkley revenge game. Malik Neighbors finally clears concussion protocol, so he's going to start. The Eagles have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith back and healthy. I expect Saquon Barkley to go crazy in this one and the Eagles to get a big road win. Hugh, Saquon's got to go crazy against his former team, right?
Oh, absolutely. He's going to have a big game. So all you fantasy owners better go and make sure you have Saquon Barkley this week because they're going to feed him the rock. But they also going to get the ball back to these receivers. They got to get their offense going. And
Yeah.
so I think it's going to be a really good game for them to go showcase what they can be as they move on down the season here.
Yeah, Amanda, you feeling the Eagles on the road?
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel Jones has yet to throw a passing touchdown in his last 5 home games.
There you go.
Like the last time he threw a TD at home was in week 17 of 2022. Like I can't roll with him. Like if you're tied for the longest streak of home games with Jimmy Clausen and Trenton Dilfer, like no, I cannot pick you in good confidence. I'm sorry, absolutely not. And I am a Daniel Jones hater. I will acknowledge that, but I didn't know that he was on that streak for that long. That's ridiculous.
Don't hate on Super Bowl winning Trent Dilfer. He was the man.
No, but he was also known for some really, really bad stats and some really long streaks of mediocrity. So I stand by what I said.
Eagles without tackle Jordan Mailata on IR for 4 weeks. No tight end Dallas Goedert. So we'll see if that plays a role. But Kayvon Thibodeau still out for the Giants. I'm going Eagles as well. We're all going Eagles in New York. And yeah, I expect Saquon Barkley to go crazy.
I would love for one of our listeners who is picking the Giants here to just shoot us a message and explain why. Because I don't know why anyone would pick the Giants, but I would love to hear the argument.
Hey, they're at home. You never know. Division rivalry.
Neighbors is back.
Who's that?
Neighbors is back. So
Oh, is he back this week? I think I missed that.
Finally cleared concussion protocol. So let's go Raiders at Rams. 2-4 Raiders, 1-4 Rams. Cooper Kupp returned to practice. They're hoping he can play. Jacoby Myers doubtful for Vegas. Looking like they're going to go with Aiden O'Connell again. I got to go Rams at home. Hugh, who are you thinking here?
I think it's the Rams. I think quarterback play is going to determine the difference in this. And obviously Stafford's one of the best that's ever played, in my opinion. So I think that's what that will be about.
Yeah, Rams at home. Amanda, any confidence in the Raiders?
No. Also, they can't win at SoFi. The only game they've ever won at SoFi was in 2020 when there were no fans there. So they don't perform well there. And there's so much dysfunction with that team. Like you had your superstar receiver begging to leave, and then he had an injury, but suddenly he pulled the Willy Wonka, like, oh, I can walk, I'm all good now. Like it's a mess. And we've got the coach who I love mouthing off about a couple of things that I don't know if a coach should publicly say their opinions on. So it just seems like maybe the team could just use a better PR team and just like a company retreat to bond or something, because I'm not feeling any chemistry and connection on that team right now.
Hugh said it. It's about quarterback play, and Aiden O'Connell, I don't trust him. Minshew either. So the Raiders need a quarterback upgrade, and hopefully it's Shedeur Sanders or one of those guys in the draft. We're all going Rams at home. Panthers at Commanders. Carolina with the worst defense in football going up against Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. I think this is going to be, I think the Commanders put up 40 plus here. I got a 40-20 final score here. Commanders win big.
Yeah, I got the Commanders by 30.
The Commanders win. Jaden Daniels is still playing great. He'll play even better, and so I think they beat him. No doubt.
They look good even in a loss against the Ravens. Like they played them tough. So
like that was a fantastic loss. I know that's a weird thing to say, but like you played the Ravens, like you can lose and still have a great game. And even with like this defense getting back Jadeveon Clowney, Josie Jewell, and Sam Franklin, like I don't think it's going to make a difference. Like they're dead last in points allowed, 29th in total defense, 30th against the run. Like I think it's going to be a rough week for Carolina.
Yeah, and a tough matchup. The Commanders are hitting on all cylinders. So And then we get to our Super Bowl rematch. The 5-0 Chiefs at the 3-3 49ers. And you guys know where I'm going here. San Francisco needs this one. The Chiefs shouldn't be 5-0. I don't know how they're 5-0. It's about time the Chiefs take a loss in San Francisco, and Brock Purdy we trust. Let's go Niners. Hugh, what are you
So
thinking? I see you smirking over there, Hugh.
I will not go against the Kansas City Chiefs. I
Yeah,
can't do it. I think 49ers are emerging again. Great watching them against the Seahawks just
yeah.
recently. And I think they're getting back, on a roll. But I just can't bet against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. They find a way. This guy is one of those guys like Tom Brady was, these once in a lifetime guys that go for 10 years where you just watch him play and you go, oh my gosh, this guy just got it. He has it. And that's who he is. He's a
Well,
winner.
I mean, I've seen Tom Brady throw 5 interceptions against the Buffalo Bills, so let's go
I
Niners.
was there when he threw 5 against the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs. So there's no
okay.
doubt they have bad games. I get that. I do get that. But boy, when they're good. And he's good.
It's true. Yeah.
So I have a theory about this game. Both of these offenses have had major issues with the red zone. So I feel like whoever gets their red zone offense going first, whoever gets that inside 20-yard touchdown first, that's who's going to win the game. So we've got fourth worst and fifth worst in red zone offense, which is
Wow.
amazing because we've got two good teams, and
Mhm.
obviously they're good on the deep passes and stuff, but converting in the red zone is something where both of them struggle. I will say Juju Smith-Schuster finally putting up numbers, kind of stepping into Rice's vacancy that he left there with that knee injury. So last week, or not last week, week 5, he looked good. Honestly, I'm rolling with the team that just came off a bye week. That's like, and what Hugh said about the Chiefs always finding a way to win. So they're 5-0, despite only outscoring their opponents by a total of 33 points this season. They've got
Yeah.
the lowest point differential in the league, but they always find a way. They play down, they sort it out just enough. They put up just enough points to win. And granted, there have been a couple weeks when it seemed like maybe they had some assistance from the Zebras, and Alex has had some major issues with that. But the last couple weeks I haven't seen it as much. Week 1 and week 2, I was like, are you hired? Did they pay you? Like who pays your salary? But the last couple weeks, week 4 and 5, I didn't see so much one-sidedness. But I'm with you here. This is the lowest point differential by any 5-0 team since the Jets in 04. So it's been 20 years, but they always just scrape by just enough to piss you off and win. So yeah, they had an extra week to rest. So that's how I made my pick. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs here with you.
Yeah, I mean, let's go Niners. I'm rooting for the Niners because the Chiefs have played down to their competition and they barely scraped by. And in my opinion, they shouldn't be 5-0. And at some point, they have to get beat. And I wish the 49ers had Christian McCaffrey and were a little bit healthier. We'll see about Jordan Mason. I think he's going to play. That could help. Brock Purdy playing a little bit better. But a key stat here, Kyle Shanahan has never beaten Andy Reid while on the 49ers. So let's go, Kyle Shanahan. Figure out a way to get this win. My Chiefs hate trumps everything else. Like,
It's obvious. That's
yeah,
very obvious.
let's go Niners. And I don't want to see Taylor Swift. I don't want to, I don't want to see the Kelseys.
They'll be there.
Okay, say whatever you want about Travis and Taylor. Jason Kelsey is an American icon, okay? Him at the Buffalo Bills tailgate is the funniest shit I have ever. Like, I love Jason Kelsey. Like,
I'm tired of seeing Jason. I'm tired of seeing Travis. I'm tired of seeing Donna.
no,
Let's
okay,
get 'em
but so Jason
Get 'em
Kelsey
at
goes on his
home.
podcast and he talks about how they just need to get rid of kicking. Kickers are useless. They're playing too big of a role in the game. Like they've got too many points. Like it should be up to like the actual offense and not special teams. Pat McAfee brought him on the podcast and Paul called him out on it. He's like, "So what's this I hear about your stance on special teams?" That shit was funny as hell. I love Jason Kelsey. I will no. They can get rid of Travis and Taylor. I don't need to see them on the TV, but if they want to flash Jason Kelsey dancing on the sidelines, chugging beers shirtless, I'm down.
My motto all season long: anybody but the Chiefs. If the 2019 Warriors can't three-peat, then neither can the 2024 Chiefs. So let's go.
Okay, but Alex, you have a way of jinxing things. So,
He
Goff is
just
ass
he
with his
just
almost
did it.
perfect passer rating the last 2 weeks. I don't know, man.
Amanda, you said you're riding with the team off the bye. Guess who else is coming off a bye? Minnesota.
Okay, well, I said in this one, in this one.
Oh, okay, just this one. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sunday Night Football. And this is a great matchup. And there's a little bit of spite in my pick here as well. How are you going to be 4-2 with Justin Fields and have him coming off a great game with no turnovers and bench him? I don't get it. They're going with Russell Wilson. The Jets just added Devontae Adams. Jets, 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 Jets in Pittsburgh. Let's go, Jets. Hugh?
Ooh, this is a tough one for me.
This,
I
this is
went
going to be a great
back and
game.
forth, back and forth. Now,
Yeah.
first, the quarterback decision, I was surprised.
Yeah.
But obviously, Mike believes he sees something to where they can score more points.
Mhm.
That's the only reason why you do this. You believe that the pushing the ball down the field is what's been missing. I don't know that has been. But at the same time, the Jets, they got something to play for.
Yeah.
They got Devontae Adams, the quarterback. Obviously, Rodgers got to go prove who he is. What better game to do it in than this game? So I truly believe that the Jets will win this game at the Steelers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think.
oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, I just think it's a mistake to bench Fields now. I mean, you're winning.
Mhm.
Don't fix what's not broken. And the Jets, Amanda. I mean, if the Jets don't win this, they should have midseason Hard Knocks be the Jets because it's gonna get heated over there. They can't go to 2-5 with all that talent, just making that trade for Devontae.
Yeah, it would be ridiculous if they don't pull this one off. But this is just a theory, and I'm sure I'm 100% wrong, but I think it was about playing Aaron Rodgers, the benching of Justin Fields. Like Justin Fields was not scary on the Bears. Aaron Rodgers doesn't give two shits about Justin Fields, but Aaron Rodgers has also lost to Russell Wilson in the playoffs and in some dramatic games. I mean, the fail Mary situation, the games we're getting replacement refs fired and stuff. Like,
NFC Championship game, all that.
yes, the best comeback in 1 minute and 41 seconds. Packers up, what, 16? Basically
Yeah.
had won the game. Russell Wilson. So I think it was about like, all right, let's fuck with Aaron Rodgers. And maybe I'm completely wrong, but that's what I think it is. And it's an absolute, conspiracy theory. But Aaron Rodgers has not thrown for 300 yards in 28 straight games.
Wow.
And last week he was at 294, so he was getting close. But we're starting to see him kind of come back to vintage Aaron Rodgers. But that's such a long streak, especially because, I mean, he's the all-time leader in passer rating, all-time leader in touchdown to interception ratio, but 28 games straight, that shocked me. So like obviously he's older now and we don't expect as much from him, but with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams on the field together, I expect great things because their chemistry is ridiculous. And it was tough to see them separated. So I'm happy they're back together. I'm be a Jets fan now, even though I'm selling my kids Aaron Rodgers Jets jerseys that my father-in-law got them because no, I can't wear Jet stuff. Even the Brett Favre Jets jersey I have just stays in storage because like I'm not gonna wear it. I also have a Vikings one because Favre was my dude, but I can't wear them. No.
If you're not gonna wear it, send it to Alex. I'll gladly rep the Jets.
But the Rodgers one, it's a kid size small, honey. I don't think that'll
Yeah,
work.
I'll still wear it. I don't care. The Jets, when you get to this point and you make a midseason trade, and it's kind of like the Jets are like, on paper it has to work. There's so much pressure on this team. Do you think the players you can like feel it? And does that pressure on prime time against the Steelers, does that weigh on you? And does that, force them to lose this game? That pressure can be tricky.
No, it can be, as long as the quarterback handles it the right way. And I think he will. I think that's what the key to this is. It's Aaron Rodgers. I think that's why ownership has done everything they've done. Aaron Rodgers, that's who they trust. That's who they believe in. I think he accepts the responsibility. He understands what comes with all this. And so he's got to make it work. And what better way to make it work than on Sunday night in front of everybody? Because everybody's going to watch. Everybody wants to see what Devontae Adams is going to bring to the team. Everybody now wants to see what Russell Wilson is going to do as a starting quarterback. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game, but watched by all. So I think this is Aaron's chance to say, okay, everybody, let's pump the brakes. We're going to be fine here. We need to win a football game, and they do need to win a football game.
I will
Yeah.
say, if this man spells out the word relax for another team, Packers fans will be pissed. So, don't do that. No talk of running the table, no talk of relax. I'm actually curious how injured Devontae Adams is. Hamstring injuries with receivers. We saw Christian Watson the last 200 games, always on or off with the hamstring. So I'm assuming he's been playing up the injury, but if he's actually injured, I wonder how much it'll affect him in the game. But we're just gonna assume he's full of shit and he just wanted to leave. So
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I mean, Brees Hall looked better last week. Aaron Rodgers looked better last week. We'll see if they can fix the miscommunication between him and Mike Williams. Now you've got a three-headed
It's
monster.
fixed. It's fixed. His name's Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, who is Mike Williams?
We'll see if that makes Mike Williams expendable at all, because Justin Herbert, I believe, said something towards like he might be willing to bring Mike Williams back to the Chargers. So that could be interesting there as well.
I think he should move. Like they're not going to use him. Like Garrett Wilson's there. Like they've got enough people, and now you've got the besties back together. He's going to be completely wasted on that team.
So did you pick the Steelers, Amanda?
No.
You picked the Jets, so we're all picking the Jets. Right?
Yeah. I'm picking Devontae
Jets.
Adams.
Go, Amanda. You want to pick the Steelers. All right.
No. Not if they're starting Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I will just say, if there's a ridiculous comeback in this game at the end of it, and Russell Wilson pulls off another win, Aaron Rodgers is retiring after the game. That's
all. Monday Night Football, Ravens at Bucks, another great game. Can't wait for this one. Baker Mayfield comes in leading the league in touchdown passes, a red-hot offense going up against a tough Ravens defense. Here comes Derrick Henry leading the league in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. Tough test for both teams. My question is for Tampa Bay is, how do you slow down this Ravens offense? I don't know if anyone can do it. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, that's a cheat code, unstoppable back there in that backfield. Then you've got Zay Jones, Isaiah Likely, all these weapons. Tampa Bay's defense is going to have their hands full on Monday night.
No, they are, and I don't see. I see Tampa Bay competing. There's no question about that. Baker is going to go do everything he can to go win the game, but I just think the Baltimore Ravens are a different level right now. And so look with Lamar, as you mentioned, Derrick Henry, Flowers. I mean, they got so many weapons now, and the tight ends are starting to play well. Here comes Andrews back into the fold of this thing. So I just think, and Lamar's playing great. He's spreading the ball around. So I just think they're hard to beat. They're hard to stop. They're good defensively. They're a big football team, and I think that's what's going to give the Bucs a little trouble.
Yeah, Amanda, I see this being a shootout, like 38-30 Baltimore. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen both of these offenses be nasty, but like the defenses, like the weakness for Baltimore is their defense against the pass. What is Tampa Bay good at? Deep passes. So I just feel like the weaknesses on each team are just going to burn up that score even higher. I mean, if the over-under on this isn't set to at least 60, I would be shocked. And I don't pay attention to those until something like this comes up, and I'm curious what it is during the recording. But I got to roll with the Ravens because they're just like a Pro Bowl team. Like they just have so much freaking talent on that offense. And as I'm going to be aggressively rooting for the Buccaneers. I love them. I love Baker Mayfield. But I just love that, we've got the 2018 draft quarterbacks, first rounders, Heisman winning. Like it's a beautiful matchup. And I just want this to be a good game. I don't want either of these teams to forget to show up. I want, one of my 70 combined point games, but
Dean Pease, I'm going to say it again. Extra week in the system. It will slow down. Trust me.
Yeah, I trust him to help get that defense. That defense has been a little bit not what we are used to, and I think he's going to help fix that.
So as soon as we watched him come back, we had to know that that's exactly why he came back. So
Yep.
it will change.
Yep.
Well, and I mean, Jackson is the highest ranked Monday Night Football player in league history for quarterbacks. He destroys Monday nights. So real convenient they're playing this on a Monday night.
And Amanda, weren't you saying that Derrick Henry was washed going into the season? You say he was an old man now?
If I ever said that, it was out of spite because the Packers run game has been kind of meh the last couple seasons. So I could have just from a shit talking jealousy standpoint, but I mean, I love that he's kind of had a resurgence this year. Like it's
Yeah.
tough to be, the big fish in a small pond that isn't going to win anything, and like you're the workhorse on the team. So I love seeing him getting to just put up big numbers, but have enough of a team built around him to where like, oh, I don't want to run right now. Okay, Lamar, you got this. Like
Yeah.
they're filthy, man. That offense is gross.
And going to a team who we are, I don't think is going to show up. I think I'm not going to be watching much of this game because I got the Chargers big. I think the Chargers go into Arizona and take care of business, get a statement win. I'm not buying what the Cardinals are selling. I'm not buying Jonathan. I don't think Jonathan Gannon is the right head coach over there. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. still in concussion protocol. We'll see what happens there. But I got the Chargers big in Arizona. Amanda, you going with the Chargers or think Kyler can get it going?
I think they need Marvin Harrison Jr. to be competitive. And
Yeah,
without him, and Herbert's coming off the best game he's had in like 10 games
yeah.
straight, highest passing yards, completions, and attempts that he's had. The Cardinals are allowing the 11th most passing yards per game in the league. So I think Herbert's going to look real good in this one. And I agree with what you said about the coaching mismatch here. Harbaugh, I think, is by far a superior coach. And granted, I love
But
him more than most people
he's
with
not a
the
big
Michigan
guy.
history.
Yeah,
But it seems lopsided. I had hope in the Cardinals this year, and I still have hope in them, but they're such a young team and there's still so many kinks they need to work out. I don't expect them to be ready to make a run to the NFC Championship for at least another year or two.
Hugh. If Kyler Murray, I'm not in on Kyler Murray anymore. Like I've soured on Kyler Murray. Like if he was the star quarterback he's supposed to be, this would be a great matchup. I don't see too often Kyler Murray like no shows in some of these games, and I trust Herbert more than I do Kyler at this point.
Well, no doubt. I mean, there's some things that, Kyler needs to continue to get better at, and
Yeah,
I think that shows itself. I think Justin's a better quarterback today. I think they have a better overall team. I think they play to who they are. They have an
yeah.
identity. They're going to run the football. They're going to throw it when they need to, and they play good defense. So I think it's going to be one of those games where I'm not going to say the Chargers are going to blow them out. I think it'll be a little bit more competitive, but I think the Chargers win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with what Hugh just touched on about the Chargers defense, they haven't allowed a single point off a turnover so far this season.
Wow.
The only other team who's done that so far this year is the Saints.
Mhm.
Unless, well, actually, I don't know if that's true. Did they allow a point off a turnover last night? I didn't watch the game. So
Yeah.
no. Did they?
Last night, I mean, there was a fumble return for a touchdown last
So
night.
yeah,
So
okay.
Right.
So yeah, it's just the Chargers now. Sorry, my kid had a trunk or treat thing and cheer and chili cook off with the football team. So I was, I was hanging out with football players, just midget ones.
you missed
Um,
the awesome Spencer Rattler performance, is what you missed.
no, I had no desire to watch this game. I was like, can we go outside and freeze to death for 2 hours? I'm like, perfect. Anything but the Saints right now. Ugh. So yeah, I just got to roll with the Chargers here. That defense is playing really well, and just the Cardinals, they still got some building to do around Kyler Murray, and I think we need to see some maturity out of him. There are just some things he needs to improve at, and I absolutely agree with you there.
I'm a little nugget here. I'm a big fan of the Chargers this year. I think it's a year too early, but I think they are going to be a little too early. I think the Chargers make the playoffs, and I think they might even steal a playoff win. I like the way this Chargers team is built, and Harbaugh's commitment to the running game really opens things up for Herbert. Hugh, if the Chargers do get Mike Williams or a receiver midseason, keep an eye on those Chargers for
It's
a run.
not that, Alex. It just says you said they're gonna make the playoffs. They're going
Yep.
to win a playoff game. They gotta
Yep.
qualify for the playoffs first. They right
Oh, they
now
will.
they're 3-2.
Well, and look at their division too. Like, do you know who's in their division?
Oh, I know.
They'll be a wild
Yeah,
card. They're not going to win the division. They're going to beat
yeah,
the Chiefs one game this year too. They're going to split with the Chiefs. Just
yeah.
giving you guys a little insight into the
I'm
future.
writing this down. We're gonna come back and reference this.
Oh my
Chargers winning
God.
playoff game.
Yes. I
Those are some bold
preseason,
statements, Alex. Bold.
preseason, I had them winning 2 playoff games. I'll pump the brakes and go 1 playoff game.
So you what wild card and divisional? Like what? No, they're
Yeah.
not. They're not making. You were cooking. No, no, no. You think they're
Leaks
going to the
Leaks
conference
Stradamus
level?
over here.
You think the Chargers are conference level in the postseason?
In
Like
the
wild card,
preseason, I thought
divisional.
maybe, but they do need a receiver. They don't really have enough receivers right now. But I like this Chargers team a lot. Is what I'm saying. I like what they're building.
Okay, but
Okay.
I don't-
Okay.
Chargers will go further in the playoffs than the Packers. All right, so we're gonna get out of here on that note.
Ooh, you wild today. I mean,
Wow.
Gus Edwards on IR. J.K. Dobbins is stepping in. Every game where he
Okay.
goes off is good. I mean, he's got 17 or more touches in 4 out of the
Somebody
last 5
go
games. I see your argument. I just
down. All right, well, great to have you on as always, Hugh. Good stuff as always, Amanda. Great episode. We'll see how our picks do, and we'll be back at it next week.
All
Great stuff,
righty.
guys.
Guys, be
Don't forget
safe.
to like, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Have a great week, and peace out.